Yesterday at Copenhagen Business School, I gave a presentation about process mining. What we gave the students were examples of a log. So here you can see an example of a log, a simple support request that received from the customer. It goes through a process. Of course, there are variants of this process. And of course, there are also more sophisticated variants where it goes to second line support, where even second line support can do something. A process log can be represented as an XML file. As you can see here, we have the log, we have traces in it, and in each trace we have some events that happens. You can see the event, it has an ID and it has at a certain time from the log. So this is a log. A log can also be represented as an Excel CSV file. So here we have the column of the case ID, which is basically the case in which it happens. We have the activity ID, which is the event that happens. You can see here the different activities. They sometimes have labels on. We can say when did it happen, the timestamp, and we can sometimes see the role as well as the user. So basically a log can be represented as an XML file, but also as a CSV file. So now, giving this information, we can actually create a process model in the DCR product. So we basically create the log here. Well, the first thing we do is that we open this app called Process Discovery. It is based on the award-winning process discovery algorithm called Discover. And basically, we open here and we can read in the XML file. We could also read in the CSV file, but now we read the XML file. And when we do that, we notice that it has found a lot of activities in the log. We add these activities to the model, and now we could mine. But before we do that, let's just look at what event it found. So it starts with the first thing, the customer creates the support request. Then you can see customer service can check the equipment, they can check the service level, they can write message to the customer, they can call customer to clarify detail. The experts can do something, they can check equipment, and they can also ask to check if it doesn't work. They can also decide to give the case to second level support, and finally we end the case by rate the request and close the case. So now let's go back in the Discover app. Let's just load the log one more time here. And this time let's just find the rules. So basically rule mining or process discovery is an AI technology that basically finds the rules in the data set. So it's a type of machine learning, but it's not exactly machine learning because it's not based on statistic. It only finds rules that are always the case. So when we add these rules to the system, and there are basically two rules in this model, even though you see three. So the first rules are the conditions. Condition means that something we all know, before you can do something, something else must have been done. Before you can pay out any money, you must have approval to do it, right? Here it says, before you can check the customer equipment and system, the case must have been created. I think that's quite reasonable. And similarly, you see the orange arrows coming from this one to this one. So this is the condition rule. The second rule that we observe are the blue rules, which are the response rules, the follow-up obligations. It means that whenever a customer creates a support request, you must eventually in the future check the customer equipment. You must also check customer service level, and you must also write a message to the customer. What you also observe is that there's also a blue response arrow from these things to the rate and close the case. Then finally, you also see the red arrows, which are basically exclude arrows, meaning in most situations this can only be done once. But you then observe you also have a green one, meaning this can actually happen more than once in a few situations. So basically, this is the process model that has been mined from a log. So in this way, we can actually learn how how our business logic work in our existing systems by extracting a log from the system and place it into a process mining to get an algorithm like this out of it. Thank you.
This exciting journey. Thank you.